tomato juice day on the homestead. We got a big old pot about full scraps that goes to the chickens. Got our 2 young assistants cutting the cores and all those spots on them. Got our setup over here, about ready to go. This is an attachment we got. Came with this Cabela's Carnivore meat grinder. So we'll show you it in action here in a little bit. We have a variety of tomatoes. We got some beefsteak and some German pinks. There's a Cherokee purple. Just all different ones, some yellows and orange tomatoes, a few little cherry tomatoes in there. It should make a good, tasty juice. Okay, to core tomato so you can juice it. Now this one's fairly small, but just to give you an idea, you're just gonna go around with a knife and core it out. Take that little piece out, throw it. You want to inspect your tomato. If you got any scars or bruises, I don't see many of these that have a bruise. Maybe something like that, but darker. You want to take that off too. Of course, you're going to take your piece of your stem off. If your tomato is bigger than that, you can cut it in half, like so, and then you're ready to take it to your juicer. All right, so we've got all of our tomatoes cored, cut up into smaller pieces. Some of them we left pretty big, but those that are really juicy, so they'll go right on down. That's it there. Like I said before, this is our meat grinder that we've had. This tomato applesauce maker attachment came with it, and we use it a lot when we're juicing our tomatoes. We made V8 a couple years ago, which you would just put celery and green peppers, carrot if you wanted it, onions in with your tomatoes and juice it all up together. You can even put some chili peppers in there to make it spicy if you wanted to. So this is just something you attach to it. It's got the splash guard, and this is where your tailings, which would be your seeds and skins and everything, will come out down here. Your juice is going to come here with a little bit of pulp. So it's going to be loud when I turn it on. So I'm going to turn it on and start juicing. You see how it works. So you're going to press down, get those tomatoes going down in there. Once they take off, they go. So you can kind of see the juice is running. Just kind of press them on in. See the seeds and the skins coming out the other end. And nothing but juice comes out this side. Now you can do this. They have manual ones that you can get. Just a hand crank. Just crank away, and it does a good job. And but we would be doing that if this one hadn't came with the grinder we bought. But it sure does make it a lot easier on the shoulders. You know, like I say, you just feed it to it. You can see the pulp coming out with it, which is a good thing. Good cooking tomato juice. All the skins and everything will go to the chickens, and they will eat it, and they will make fertilizer, and they will make eggs for us. We will come back to you once we have got all of these juiced up and show you what we've got. Okay, so whenever you're juicing, your tailings or pulp, whatever you like to call it, comes out. If you notice it's really moist, take this, run it back through either your hand crank or KitchenAid. If you got one like this, great. But Watch how much juice comes out of that pulp. That's all good juice that would have been thrown away. You see this tailings coming out now. They're dry. You could probably run it through again. It's really dry. So that will, it may actually would double the output that you would get. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of juice there that will just go to waste. So it's just a little extra tip while you're juicing your tomatoes. Place your tomato juice on the stovetop in your big pot, or however big you have. Put your burner on medium-high heat. As this foam comes up, you're going to want to scoop it off and get it out of there. You don't want none of that in your jars. So just continue to do that as it heats up. You want to bring it to a boil. Make sure it doesn't scorch. Just kind of stir around in there a little bit and then wait. So bring your contents of your pot to a boil. Just very, very hot. Like I said before, you skim all your foam off. That's the foam we got off of this. It's not really harmful to you. It's just, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing to not have the foam on it. It's something my grandma always did. She taught me how to do stuff like this. My parents do the same thing. So not really a tradition, it's just something we do. So in our jar, I put a teaspoon of lemon juice. That's not necessarily something you have to do. The reason I done it is because some of the tomatoes we use today are less acidic, and the acid that's in them is what's going to actually help preserve your tomato juice. So I also put a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. So any good salt you have will work. Just make sure it's a good quality salt. No iodine, nothing like that in your jars. So you're going to ladle this out into your jar. This is typically something that does get messy. I have cleaned up most of the mess from where we juiced them earlier. It does really smell good though. You'll notice I have gloves on just because this jar, when I get done filling it, it's going to be probably around 200 degrees. It's rough on your hands. So I fill them up, give myself, I don't know, about a ½ inch headspace. And if you're not familiar with what a headspace is, that's how much distance between the liquid and the top of the jar that you have left. ½ inch headspace is about right there. You want 1 inch headspace, you're going to go to the bottom of where the rim is. This ring goes around the jar. Right below it will give you 1 inch, so that's about a ½ inch. So I'll come over here, grab a ring. This is an open kettle method. That's what I do. If you like to water bath yours, and you're more than welcome to, whatever you feel comfortable with. Now this right here, them are my flats. I've got them in there soaking in some really hot water, and that way the seal on it will actually be kind of gummy, ready to be stuck
rim of the jar.
The rim of the jar is going to be pretty hot too. So I take vinegar on a little paper towel, put it like that, and then I always wipe the rim of my jar with that vinegar. It's not necessarily to do with vinegar, it's just something I do. One more layer of protection. So you take the flat, place it on the jar, it's really hot, and then you'll screw this down. Put my gloves on. Set this over here. Screw this down fairly tight, and I will turn that upside down for probably 3 to 5 minutes. That'll make sure everything down in here gets really good and tight. When I get done, 3 to 5 minute timer goes off, I turn it back up, and then I leave it set until it seals. When it seals, you'll hear that tink. So that's how we do it. Got any questions? Leave them on the video. Join us on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, Blue Ridge Homestead. Till then, it's Lewis and Sally saying, come grow with us.